All right. I'm Peter Falk, and I've got a secret.
I've Got a Secret, brought to you tonight by Post Cereal. The cereals that make breakfast a little bit better. Post Cereals.
Two naturals join forces in a natural new cereal combination. Post Bran and Prune Flakes. Now you get the rewards of both in one box, in one delicious serving. Two naturals join forces to put the benefits of bran and the sweetness of prunes in every spoonful, to give you flavor you're sure to take a liking to. Two naturals join forces in new Post Bran and Prune Flakes.
Live from New York, here is I've Got a Secret, starring Steve Cullen.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Good evening, sir, and if you'll just whisper your secret to me. So actually, this is a piece of sculpture, real sculpture, which was borrowed from the Museum of Modern Art here in New York. And now that I've explained what this weird-looking object is, let's meet the members of our panel. First, there's Betsy Palmer. Next, Bill Cullen, who is on loan also from the Museum of Modern Art, as you can see. And then there's lovely Bess Myerson and lovely Henry Morgan. We gave you a little shot of Henry there as Picasso might have seen him, and if he had seen him, that's how it would have been. And anyway, now may we have our first contestant, please.
Not so cute.
Would you tell us your name, please, and where you're from?
My name is François Bachet, and I'm from Paris in France.
Francois Bachet, Bachet, first syllable, from Paris. Mr. Bachet is a distinguished sculptor, and he's responsible for this intriguing work. I'm going to move over here so you can see just how intriguing it is. It was actually exhibited at the Louvre Museum in Paris and is currently on loan, seriously, as part of a large display of Mr. Bachet's work at the Museum of Modern Art here in New York. I was not joking about that. And now that you've had a good chance to look this over, panel and audience, I'll tell you that Mr. Bachet has a secret in connection with it. So if you'll whisper that to me, sir, we'll show the audience what it is. The clue to Mr. Bachet's secret concerns the sculptor, of course, and we'll begin with Betsy Palmer.
It just concerns the sculpture.
Yes.
The first thing that came to my mind when I saw your sculpture, Mr. Bachet, was a lady novelist who lives here in New York named Miss Fanny Hurst. And she always wears a calla lily, and that looked to me like a calla lily. Does it have anything to do with Miss Hurst?
I don't know what a calla lily is.
They're in bloom again. Well, now it's a flower. It's a very beautiful flower, as a matter of fact.
No, it's not a flower.
No, no. Does this have to do with what this is to represent? Is that what we're to find out?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think the way you meant that, Betsy, probably no would be a better answer. It's not so much what it represents.
Not what it represents, what it is made of, the material that you constructed it from?
Yes.
We would like to know that? No.
Well, it's not essential, but it is relevant.
It's relevant. It is metal.
Yes.
It is something maybe taken that has been out in space?
Oh, no.
No.
$20 down, 60 to go. Bill Cullen?
Mr. Bachet, is this...
Bachet.
Bachet. Sorry. Mr. Bachet, we are not concerned with finding out what material was used in the construction. Are we concerned in determining... We are also not concerned in determining what it is to represent. Is that correct?
That's correct.
What then are we concerned in determining? Are we concerned in determining the length of time it took you to... No. The amount of money it cost for the... No.
Too much.
The place where it was... No.
No.
Good.
You covered a lot of ground, Bill. $40 down. Yes?
You got about all the no's I can think of. Mr. Bachet, is there something unusual about this in the sense that...
Yes.
Yes.
Mm.
Would you like to tell me? No. The thing unusual, does it possibly produce something? Does
Yes.
something... Yes. Does sound emanate from it?
Yes.
Yes? Now, I have to find out how does sound emanate from it, or what kind of sound?
Either way,
Can dogs hear it? I mean, is it making sound right now?
I hope not.
Oh. All right.
I don't think my microphone is either. Henry, $60 have been going down.
But she just said it.
Makes
Yes, sound does come from it.
Well, what else you want to know?
What kind of...
How you been? What
It's
kind of sound?
But it's a loudspeaker, isn't it?
But we have to know what
No,
kind
no,
of
no
sound.
loudspeaker.
Does it create its own sound?
Yes.
Mhm.
Ow! Would you mind turning it around so I can see the back?
If we did that, that would give it away, I think.
Well, go ahead.
Oh.
Give it away.
Is it in any way electronic?
No.
Is it?
You were just about to get it, panel. Mr. Bachet's secret is that his sculpture on the first syllable is not only very beautiful to look at, actually it is fascinating to listen to because it can also be played as a musical instrument. Mr. Bachet is, as you can observe, a gifted sculptor, and he started his career in more conservative, traditional fashion. How did you happen to switch to these unusual structures, sir?
I was making a trip around the world that lasted 7 years, and I had to carry a guitar. So I invented a collapsible guitar. And when I came back home with my brother, who's an engineer, we decided to make a synthesis of acoustics and of sculpture.
A census?
A synthesis.
A synthesis, I see.
Synthesis.
Yes.
Of sculpture and acoustics, and that's why we are making this sort of musical sculpture to go put the sculpture further.
I think I understand. At least I'm beginning to get close to it. Perhaps you and I could turn this around now and let the audience and our panel see what it was that we had hidden from their view before. This is the part of the device that produces the sound. Would you demonstrate it, sir? This is called, by the way, trombone de verre, which means glass horn.
Beautiful. But I will need some water, which was...
Certainly. And we have the panel's water. Thank you, panel. This is pure panel water there. Whatever that is. Thank you. It's nothing.
Suppose you compare it to a violin. The glass would be the bow. It gives no sound. It's only the slipping of the finger which counts.
Mm-hmm.
Then this metal rod would be the string, which is tuned, and this would be the amplifier.
Wow.
No electricity.
No electricity, just the vibrations amplified. Remarkable. Well, we have two other pieces of Mr. Bachet's sculpture. May we see them, please?
Fantastic.
There they are.
Oh.
Aren't they fascinating? And Mr. Bachet, tonight we have also borrowed Norman Paris and his avant-garde musicians, and we'll be able to hear your musical structures in concert if the gentlemen of the orchestra will come out, please. Professor? Tony Rongo, would you please demonstrate your instrument? Is this a percussion instrument, sir?
Yes, but it has no name. We're looking for a name.
All right. Send in your names, folks. Would you percuss a little bit for us? Words would be superfluous at this time. And Norman, you want to lay down a little for us there? I'll get out of your picture here. I don't know whether you should be a member of the musicians or the sheet metal workers union now. And now, ladies and gentlemen, featuring Specs Powell here with his nimble, wet fingers. Incidentally, Specs didn't know how to play this till 3 this afternoon.
I still don't.
You can imagine if he showed up about 1:30, what would happen right now. What are you going to play for us?
Night and day. I think I'll try.
All right, here they are, the Fiddler's Three.
What did I probably get?
Great. You must be very nervous. Your hands are wringing wet. Fellas, that was pretty wild. Mr. Bachet, thank you so much. Your sculptures are beautiful, and you're a very brilliant man. Thank you. We'll meet our next contestant in just a minute, but first, watch this.
This is Springtime in the South. Here in the South, as all over America, people are turning to the taste that's springtime fresh. The taste of Salem cigarettes. Salem, America's favorite menthol cigarette, the largest selling by far, because Salem brings you rich tobacco taste, menthol soft flavor. Salem refreshes your taste.
Try something different for a change. Turn to Salem for a taste that's springtime fresh.
Try Salem filter cigarettes for a change.
Now may we have our next contestant, please? Jump right in there, sir, and would you tell us your name and where you're from?
My name is Ted Erickson. I'm from Chicago, Illinois.
Now, Mr. Erickson recently accomplished a most unusual feat, and if you'll whisper it to me, Mr. Erickson, we'll show the audience just what it was that you did. Uh-huh. Now, I'll admit that's unusual, but that has been done before. I think you'd better tell us a little bit more. The clue panel concerns, of course, something Mr. Erickson did, and we'll start the questioning this time with Bess Myerson.
Mr. Erickson, this thing that you did you do it in Chicago?
No.
Was it indoors rather than outdoors?
No.
Was it on water?
Yes.
A physical feat, then?
Yes.
Were you in a boat?
No.
Off to a good start there, Bess. $20 down. Henry?
Was you on skis?
No.
Were you under the water?
No.
You were on the surface. Were you under your own power?
Yes.
You were swimming. And you swam a long distance.
I believe you might say that.
Was it bigger than the English Channel?
Yes.
The distance was bigger than the distance across the English Channel, yes.
I'm glad you found out. Would we be interested in the length rather than, do we have to name names, like you swam from here to there? Answer part 2. Did you start, say, from, where would you start?
You started $40.
Did you swim in an ocean instead of a lake?
Yes.
Yes. You swam in the Pacific Ocean?
No.
No, the Atlantic Ocean.
That's pretty close, yeah.
It was
Pretty
salt.
close.
It was salt water.
How about down there in the canal?
No.
No? It was salt water.
Yes.
It was more the Atlantic than the Pacific. Was it a Gulf?
No.
Did you go from Florida to...
$60 down. I'll give you this extra hint. The track was very closely approached and then was gotten off of. Whereas, Bill?
What? What do you say?
You were on the right track a little while ago, now you're off it again.
Thank
There's a
you
big
for the
hint.
hint. That's,
We were on the right
you said Atlantic Ocean. Is it an arm of the Atlantic Ocean in the broad sense? Like a broad arm?
Yeah, I guess that's...
Could it be Long Island Sound?
Oh, boy.
Can we go back to the English Channel?
Yes.
Yeah.
Good. You swam the English Channel lengthwise.
8 feet above the water.
Very difficult.
Yeah.
Did you swim round trip?
Right.
That's it.
That's it.
It worked out. Or yes, Henry.
In desperation, I had figured out, I thought, the perfect answer. He's the most original Cuban refugee.
That's my next
Well, anyway,
one.
Mr. Erickson is not a refugee, but is a research chemist, and recently he decided, seriously, that he wasn't getting enough exercise in his job, so he took up swimming as a hobby. And believe it or not, that was only 5 years ago. Last month, as you've guessed now, he swam the English Channel. After making the trip from England to France, he amazed the crowd who were standing there saying, "Hello, come here." He jumped right back in the water and swam all the way back again.
Couldn't speak
Couldn't speak French. He didn't know they were saying, "Come here." I guess that's it. Thought they were saying, "Get in there, you son of a gun." You can't come ashore. Anyway, he set the world's round-trip channel record of 30 hours and 3 minutes. How about that? Mr. Erickson, it occurred to me that maybe the reason you set the world's record is because nobody ever did this before. Is there any precedent?
No, it's been done before. An Argentinian, Tony Abertando, did it in 1961.
And how much time off his time did you shave?
I did it in 13 hours and 7 minutes under his time.
Gee, that's terrific. Yes.
Under
By
his
the way,
time.
for those of you who have never tried the channel, I'll explain that it's a combination of the tides, the bitter winds, the choppiness, the cold temperatures, the insults, the contumely, the brazen vindictive. Now, I'm just doing that to see if you're paying attention. What were the big problems that you ran into, sir?
Well, one of the biggest problems in swimming the channel, of course, is getting the good weather. And we were trying to have the capability of swimming it on spring tides or neap tides. And we had...
What tides?
Spring tides or neap tides.
Neap?
Neap.
Neap. What is a neap tide? I've never heard of a
Well,
neap
spring tide is where the high water is higher and the low water is lower than it is on a neap tide.
How do you
Neap tide is where the low water is lower and the high water is higher.
How'd you spell neap?
N-E-A-P.
There you go, folks. A new word for the evening. Neap tide. And did anything grab you or anything like that?
Yes, we wound up on the neap tide swim. We wound up hitting jellyfish, men of war, sea nettles, whatever you prefer to call them. These wound up with pretty good stings. And towards the end of the swim, I started getting hallucinations. I couldn't focus my eyes. And as a consequence, I would look at people like I'm looking at the people on the panel now, and they looked like little flowers, and their hands would wave like little leaves in the breeze, you see.
We are.
Here they are. Wave over there. See the cute little panel people. Well, Mr. Erickson, seriously, you did a remarkable thing. You're a real champ, and it's always a pleasure to meet one. Thank you very much for being with us tonight. Fess up, Henry. Did you know what a neap tide was until tonight?
Yes.
We'll meet our special guest for tonight in just a moment. But first, here's a message from our neap tide.
Whip and chill pies, whip and chill puddings, whip and chill molds, mousses, whip and chill sauces, whip and chill soufflés. And I thought whip and chill was just a delicious dessert. Then I wrote for this whip and chill recipe book. Magical desserts, they call it. Well, they don't mean maybe. 141 of them. And every one of them, marvelous. Yet so easy. And I thought whip and chill was just a delicious dessert.
It's hundreds of magical desserts. 141 of them are in this free Whip and Chill recipe book. New and free. Just send 2 Whip and Chill box tops to Whip and Chill recipe book, Box 3000, Kankakee, Illinois. That's Box 3000, Kankakee, Illinois. A limited offer from General Foods.
Henry's just been thinking it over, and he's decided he disagrees with Mr. Erickson as to what a neap tide is. It's between an ebb and a rip. Now it's time to meet our special guest, Rip Torn, ladies and gentlemen. Rip Tide. No, he's a gentleman who made his motion picture debut, I'm not kidding about this, in a movie in which he co-starred with our own Henry Morgan. But in spite of these humble beginnings, he has gone on to become one of our most important young actors whose TV series is acknowledged by the critics and the public to be one of the finest new shows of the season. Here's the star of The Trials of O'Brien, Mr. Peter Falk.
He did something else with somebody on the panel that nobody else knows about.
What did he do, Betsy?
We had an agent that believed in both of us, a young lady named Isabel Baker, and we both shared the same one. And she had faith in Peter when nobody knew who Peter was. That's right. Because I remember Isabel telling me that.
That's wonderful.
Yes.
Well, so much for true life dramas, ladies and gentlemen. Peter, do you have any legal tricks to play on our panel this evening?
Well, not exactly a trick, Steve, but I have a test to determine what kind of witnesses they'd make.
Well, how do we proceed, Counselor?
Well, I would like the panel to make positive identification of famous people on the basis of some photographs that I have here on the table.
You mean the way witnesses look at mug shots, that sort of thing?
Well, exactly, Steve.
Well, it sounds very difficult. I mean, it doesn't sound too difficult, I mean, especially since we're dealing with pictures of famous people.
Well, that's right. It's very, very simple. The only problem is that I wasn't able to get any recent photographs of the celebrities involved.
Oh, well, that's all right, because I don't think that people change that much over the years. Let's start now. Betsy, we're going to make you first in line here.
All right.
You see if you can identify this first celebrity here.
Now, Betsy, this is a very important star of television, movies, and the radio, and I don't think you'll have any difficulty with it. The picture's a little old, but I think you'll find a striking resemblance nevertheless.
Now, while Betsy's trying to decide who that might be, we're going to show the audience who the famous celebrity is. We'll reveal the name to our audience. There it is. You want to make a wild guess, Betsy?
I'd say it's Peter Falk.
That's wild. All right.
Before I was married.
No,
here's
you were the
another.
baby?
This is the suspect at 18 months.
Same person?
Yeah.
Same person.
Oh.
It was not Peter.
Look at the smile.
Oh.
The smile is the tip-off.
Oh, you know who it is? It's Arthur Godfrey.
Right.
For heaven's sake, it looks like him. Isn't that something? Oh, but the smile, wow.
He is at various stages of his youthful career. Now we have another one. This time it's Bill Cullen's turn. And guess who this adorable baby is? And while you're starting to guess, once again, we're going to reveal to the people at home who this lovely little doll is.
At the age of 8 months, Bill.
No hints or anything like that.
No.
Well, the only hint I can say is that the person hasn't changed much.
Doesn't have anything to change.
Only the hairdo, Bill.
I hate to say this about a good friend of mine, but I'm sure it's Edie Gourmet.
Well, not
Arthur
really,
Godfrey.
No.
Fanny Bryce.
No, it does look like Fanny Bryce. We'll show you another picture.
All right.
Now, that really looks like Fanny Bryce, doesn't it?
It's about 2 years later.
You know who that is?
You know who I really think it is? Ruth
It is?
Burrow, ladies and gentlemen. Mrs. Milton Burrow.
The girls are helping me, and I have no idea, so I'll go, really?
Yeah. Sure. That first picture.
Who is it?
Henry Morgan?
Yeah! Get a load of this picture of Henry here. When he was 34, ladies and gentlemen.
I was in the Navy with Godfrey.
There he is in uniform.
Oh, you were sexy.
Still looks like Edie Gourmet.
Now, we have another one here. This time, it's Bess's turn to guess.
Bess is at the age of 1 year, and it's not had a hopper.
We'll let the people at home see who it is. What do you say, Bess?
Somebody we know? Any clues?
Well, I suggest you look at the eyes. I think the eyes are the most striking characteristic.
Television, radio, movies, everything?
Yeah, it's been,
Yes.
you know...
All right, let's flip another card.
All right. A little older there. Looks like maybe...
Betty Davis.
Yeah!
The second one.
Oh,
Look at
now,
that.
I guess.
Yeah. The second one really looks like her with the eyes.
Now, this next one, Henry, it's your turn to guess on this next one. Isn't that sweet? There's a tough little customer.
I think Henry, concentrate on the face, because the face is the most familiar.
I'll let the folks at home see who this is. Henry, what do you say?
Well, not concentrating on the face, I think it was Betsy, but...
It is.
Oh, dear.
Yeah. This is your lovely... Betsy, how old were you in this picture now?
I don't know. I have no idea. I think... How could he... You've never seen me in that...
Here's a sweet picture.
Oh,
bless her heart. This is sweet.
Praises, how terrible.
That's really cool. This is a lot of fun. Do we have time for another one? All right. Here's somebody in a wicker ding-dong. We'll let the people at home see who that little critter is. Okay, let's see. It's now Bill, whose turn? No, it's Betsy's turn, yes.
Again?
I passed. There's not much of a clue here.
There isn't much of a clue there?
No.
Oh,
Want to see
there
another picture? Here's another picture of this critter.
That's Bill Cullen.
Yes, it is. I want you to see my favorite picture of Bill. Isn't he sweet? Yeah, that's my boy. That's funny. Now, here's one more. This here's the one you're guessing, of course. That's kind of tough. Now it's Bill's turn. We'll show the folks at home who that is.
Must be Bess.
Gotta be Bess.
Gotta be.
That's right, it is Bess Myerson.
Yeah, there now. There you go.
Unbelievable.
Is she sweet there? How old were you in this picture, Bess?
38.
Actually, you look more like your sister in that picture than you look like yourself. There you are.
Isn't that nice? Did you bring another one, Peter?
I don't know whether there's one. Yes, there is. There's one more. One more.
That's Steve. Alan. It's the nose. The nose is still the same as the smile.
Actually, it's Alfred E. Newman of Mad Magazine. Hey, Peter, you gave us a million laughs tonight. That was lots of fun. Remind the folks now, the few who haven't seen it and aren't already your big fans, what time your show is on.
We're on Saturday nights at 8:30.
You know, there's a lot of, I shouldn't say this now on the full network, but there are some television programs on that I don't know if we really need them. But this is really one of the fine and exciting shows. We'll all be watching. We'll be back in just a moment. We pause now for this important message.
We'd just been married, and I decided to put first things first. Wife, I said, I'm going to teach you how to make coffee. First, an absolutely essential Maxwell House. See? Blue can, good to the last drop. Maxwell House coffee. Good to the last drop. So, be a good little Maxwell housewife, and I think I'll keep you around.
Incidentally, arthritis is mankind's oldest crippler, so you should help medical science in its search for a cure by giving all you can to your nearest chapter of the Arthritis Foundation. That's about it for tonight, gang. Our guest next week is Buddy Hackett. See you all then.
I've Got a Secret has been brought to you tonight by General Foods, makers of Whip and Chill, rich but light. Whip and Chill, the rich dessert, light enough to eat every day. Miss Myerson's gown by Cameo. Speaking.
Are you watching, you little rascals?
Oh, it's fun, isn't it? And who subscribes to it?
Go on, push the button.
Think of the fun you could have on the tube. The tube?
You.
Tube.
TV tubes. That's a lot of fun, isn't it?
It's going to be a lot more fun if you keep going the way you're going.
Go on, push the button.
Please subscribe.
I hope they're watching.